Imagine this is you're taking a walk at night, but you hear something behind some trees. Instead of being a beta male, you decide to chat up and check out the sound only to find a glowing lake and some clothes on the ground. After a couple more seconds, you call upon your Michael Bay powers and transform into your sussy Autobots form, but instead of rolling out, you try to be a ninja after seeing something you likey. Of course, instead of being a gentleman, you remember some words from the legendary pervy sage that taught you your skills, so you continue to say nothing while witnessing a goddess in their true form. But then last second, you start sweating because the person randomly disappears and goes poof like a ghost out of nowhere. You blink a couple more times, but then it dawned on you, you screwed up real bad for being a sussy backa for just a couple minutes, and now it's time to pay the price. Seconds later, while you figure out what the heck is going on, you get ganked from behind and a hand appears beside you, slowly tapping on the tree bark. Now that you have to turn around after getting caught in plain sight, you find the same goddess busy questioning your motives earlier, but you don't really have an excuse. So what do you do if you get stuck in this situation? Well, all you need to do to get out of this sticky ordeal is to channel your inner Rizgod powers and hope for the best. Sprinkle in some compliments, then start profusely apologizing for your actions and you're good to go, since that's literally what our boy just did right here. This guy's name is Mugun, but the difference between him and the average Joe is that bro is hiding a prince behemoth behind his defensive armor, and it can ravage any opponent if he so wishes. Anyways, this goddess already knew Mugat, that hidden legendary beast, so she plays along trying to entice our boy to make it up to her after being a supreme sussy baka. And in just mere seconds, she shows her Stacy form and tells Mu that it's time for him to truly show he's sorry by going to work in her fields. As such, our boy did just that as expected, as Mu understood the assignment as soon as he transformed, since he couldn't help himself contain his spicy chicken fingers from below. And so the rest was history as our boy started working the fields as soon he has arrived in town, but let's just say both parties were just getting ready to party rocking in the house tonight. Unfortunately, the entire thing turned out to just be a dream, leaving this boy totally frustrated that he didn't even get to show off the nether dragon ready to enter her portal. He then starts tearing up because who can blame him really? Bro just got plucked from a perfect dream only to end up figuring out he got spoiled by just a movie trailer. Regardless, fast forward to the next day, we learn that our bro's name is Nadewong and he just turned 21. We'd also discover that this bro keeps having the same dream of being this mystical dude named Mugun, and by happenstance, the same girl keeps turning up in his dream as well. Nonetheless, Daewon firmly believes that his dreams must mean something since bro even has the same last name and even kind of looks like him. But as he keeps trying to figure out what it all means, some girl taps him on the shoulder looking like she's hiding some twin dragons of her own. The girl in glasses is revealed to be named Yunha, so these two have been friends for a long time, but right here, he just got friend-zoned by her by claiming she sees him like a brother. Nevertheless, their relationship is a literally bit weird, but since our boy just turned 21, he shows up at a nearby park as she asked him to wait for her there as a surprise. Unfortunately, bad luck befalls Daewon instantly as a baseball comes speeding at him. As he watches it comes toward him, his soul starts to leave his body as he notices the baseball change direction mid-air as it decides to target the Dragon Balls on him instead. Luckily for him though, it drops velocity last second and barely misses its target prize, but the impact is seen to be tremendous. We then learn that ever since he started dreaming about being Mugun and seeing the goddess, life-threatening events started to occur in his daily life, where he seems to be the target of all bad things. Fast forward inside a restaurant where Yuna has finally met up with our boy, but the first thing she does is ask her best friend if he's okay, because weird things keep happening recently. She then whips out her phone and shows Daewon a picture of a fortune-telling place she wants to bring him as she thinks it could help out with his sudden misfortune. Now if we take a second and look closer at the girl, Yuna has an eerie resemblance to the goddess in his dreams, so maybe our bro has been really wanting to smash her rice cakes for a very long time now. Regardless, he refuses to go as he thinks there's no science behind fortune-telling, even though bro already believes that his dreams is somehow trying to connect with him. But just as he was about done finishing his diss track about tacky, unproven science fiction, his destiny strikes back with a steaming bowl of soup attempting to destroy his future seedlings. Luckily for him though, he's able to dodge right in time as the sizzling plate lands on the floor instead. So after getting sent a warning signal from the otherworldly realm, our boy quickly does a 180 about what he said before and tells Yunha he's ready to accept his true fate. After quickly paying for their food, the two find themselves outside the fortune teller, but the place surprisingly looks a little bit modern. Upon entering inside, the two are greeted by a woman whose twin pyramids of Giza are clearly out and about without any care in the world. Anyways, our editor has to avoid dropping the scene any lower or else he will find someone in their birthday suit busy trying to read our boy's destiny. But as our two childhood friends patiently wait for her read, the fortune teller drops her book in shock after finding out about his fortune. To confirm her suspicions, she double-checks by asking Daewon if his last name is Na, which our boy confirms even though he never told the sussy lady his full name. Upon hearing his confirmation, the lady starts to look even more stunned as she knows his future will unravel something great, and it's no coincidence she can read his entire story like a book. Nonetheless, she snaps out of her shocked state and quickly asks Yoonha to leave as she needs to reveal something to Daewon privately. Now me personally, if I was here, man, I wouldn't leave my best guy friend alone with a girl looking like a straight psycho, especially if she's barely equipping any armor to protect the breastplate. Regardless, like a true friend, she leaves the room without any hesitation, but our boy already starts to get nervous as the bro will need to make sure his banana tree plantation does not accidentally rise up from the ashes. Shortly after Yuna closes the door behind her, the fortune lady instantly commands Daewon to even equip the bottom set of his armored plate legs, causing our boy to freeze as he thinks he's imagining what she just said. Much to his surprise, she assertively repeats herself again due to our boy not saying anything back at all, causing him to finally warn her that whatever she's telling him to do is totally reportable to Riot Games. However, she smirks and lets him know that she isn't planning to turn his car into Sussy Street, but our boy is already totally riled up, so he gets up and tells her not to move. With Daewon now totally angry that some random lady would have the gall to order him to unsheath his dragon sword in front of her, he starts walking to the door looking like he's about to snitch to everyone outside. But the fortune teller barely looks flustered, and instead she claps back, where she asks him inquisitively if there's a woman inside all his dreams. Upon hearing her super accurate guess, Daewon stops right in his tracks, totally dumbfounded how she knew exactly about his dreams even though he never shared those details. Now that she has his full attention, she whips out a book and asks Daewon if he would like to hear about it, as it's an old story she thinks is related to him. But since our boy was totally insistent on ratting her out to everyone literally just a few seconds ago, she looks to the side whilst telling him he doesn't have to stay since he's free to do whatever he wants. Suddenly, Daewon called upon the powers of his Optimus Prime and willingly showcased it to the fortune teller without any problems, unlike before. But then our boy goes wide-eyed as the Optimus Prime made the fortune teller transform into Megan Fox, so she instinctively started helping Optimus Prime turn into Megatron. And just like that, our boy for the first time ever experienced what's it like to have a relentless Roomba bot send him to the heavenly realms as Megan Fox revved up the engine hoping to see a turbo boost. Now, to be clear, the only reason the fortune lady transformed is because she realized the legend was actually real, as bro was hiding something even bigger than the Titanic. Anyways, he tries to tell Megan Fox to not cross any line since his King Behemoth will explode at any moment, but she crosses it anyways. After our boy gave away some free lactose-free whipped cream, the fortune lady instantly drank the milk-flavored Slurpee, whilst exclaiming out loud she expected the Slurpee to taste like dairy. Now that she has successfully confirmed our bro really is the real deal, she gets up and proclaims Daewon indeed had the powerful Chad energy passed down to him by the undefeated Demon King. Unfortunately, as he lays down in an attempt to regain some of his energy back from his crazy volcano release for his science project, he learns from the lady he doesn't have much time before they take away his legendary behemoth. As such, Daewon gets up instantly just so he can learn more about his foretold future, but the girl starts reading a green book with no letters on it. Nevertheless, she told the story of a man named Mugun who fell in love with a woman at first sight. The two lovebirds then ended up getting happily married, just like in those romance anime and K-dramas where they even formed a family with 3 kids. But then, this was the plot twist. The girl happened to be the daughter of the Jade Emperor, and upon learning he's about to perish, she agreed to go see him with the kids, but one of the boys stayed back. However, it was actually just a trap, and the Jade Emperor truly hated how Mu took his daughter from him, so he baited his daughter to come back. The old geezer was so ruthless that when he cursed Mu, he also cursed the youngest child that stayed with him since he was a daddy's boy. But here's the biggest catch of them all. It turns out that the curse forces the entire family to always do rice cake smashing to relieve their dough energy, or else face the consequence of their legendary behemoths randomly disappearing one night forever. And so the lady basically reveals to Daewon he just happens to get the long end of the stick, as he's a descendant of Mu's family and bro has inherited the Chad gene. So now, the fortune lady is totally head over heels for him, as she cannot believe that she has stumbled upon a noble man from the legendary family, as bro is rarer than any mythical fruit from Roblox fruits. Nevertheless, even after learning everything about his curse, Daewon gets mad that she still took over his Megatron without his outright permission. However, the fortune lady makes a good point by claiming that she had to do it just so she could save his life, as bro never volcano erupted before. Nonetheless, she continued on by also revealing to him that although he has a curse for life, there's a bright side to all of this, as he gained a very rare skill from his ancestor. Now this skill is called the legendary energy of the undefeated king, where he can literally just look into someone's eyes, and if he makes physical contact with their secret zone simultaneously, then they'll instantly fall for him forever. His legendary skill is so OP that the girls who he looks at ends up having their face disappearing, so you already know what that means in the context of very cultured anime. Regardless, as the fortune teller finishes explaining the story, she ends up being even more sussy, and tells Daewon how blessed he must be. But it's too bad our bro is still busy spacing out since it dawns on him that he's never even had a girlfriend before. As such, our boy attempts to ragdoll the lady as he doesn't want his legendary behemoth to disappear due to the curse, but urgently lets her know that he's in a very peculiar predicament. Daewon then reveals that he's more stubborn than Imasuka from Demon Slayer and refuses to rice cake smash anyone unless he's totally in love with them. However, this dumb boy gets brought back to reality upon the lady reminding him that if he doesn't use his king behemoth often to destroy any fresh papayas, then he could just die instead. Nevertheless, Daewon still needs time to think twice about ditching the life of being the #1 soy boy, and honestly, I have no clue why he's still so hesitant, because if I was him, I was going to perish for not rice cake smashing. You might as well call me King Smashing Recaps. Luckily for our boy, the turntables turn once again due to the lady deciding to make the decision easier for him, by explaining that he can try out his legendary skill on her to prove that bro actually got the Chad genes deep within him. And without our bro even moving, the lady continues to channel her inner sussy Baka without any defensive armor equipped, but this time she straight up takes Daewon's hand and places it on her pyramids of Giza. Meanwhile, Yoonha is still busy waiting for her best friend to finish getting his fortune foretold, still unaware that her friend Mr. Optimus Prime is currently getting ganked relentlessly by the Decepticons. Eventually, after Yuna finishes a couple more matches of team fight tactics on her phone, she notices Daewon in a hurry, so he attempts to instantly leave the area by taking her hand and running away. Still unsure of what the heck is happening, Yoonha is only able to hold on as our boy continues to run as far as he can, almost transforming Yoonha into a bunch of egg whites as he whisks her away. We then fast forward to later on in the evening, where our boy finds himself trying to drink his problems away with Yoonha, as he probably learned this skill best from his missing dad. Nonetheless, Yuna begins to question Daewon about what really happened with the fortune teller, as bro refused to spill the beans the entire day, so he makes up an excuse that his future is supposedly full of misfortune for the entire year. Of course, after being best friends for a very long time now, Yuna is able to see through Daewon's lies, so she starts ordering him to tell her what actually happened. And to make sure she's super successful at extracting the truth, Yuna decides to pull out her trained Riz look while simultaneously showing off her double Dairy Queen blizzards she was lucky enough to be born with. However, our boy really isn't able to explain the fact that his first time was robbed by a random sussy Baka Yuna forced him to meet, but luckily, Yuna's cat came to save the day. Our bro is then able to breathe a quick sigh of relief as Yuna loses focus due to her very lovable cat unusually wanting to spend time with her right now, when usually the cute kitty is busy never paying her enough attention. Eventually, bro looks like he made a fatal mistake with locking eye contact with the cat due to him wanting to hold it as well, but the feeling seems to not be mutual. Mere seconds after locking eye contact, Daewon notices the energy level of the cat instantly turn hostile, as if the kitty turned into a dangerous tiger ready to devour him. And before our beta male is able to react from the sudden shift in dynamics, the kitty pounced at Daewon, hoping to make sure our bro never has any future seedlings using his banana tree plantation. After absolutely getting destroyed by a 10-pound kitty, our boy almost passes out on the ground, but the last thing he was able to think of is the fact that maybe the curse is actually real. Nevertheless, Yuna comes to the rescue for our fallen brother and instantly locks onto the affected area, only for her to be curious as to why our boy has some weird massive behemoth hiding behind his plated armor pants. Initially, Yuna thought he was hiding a baseball bat, so she innocently tries to grab it and put it away. However, our bro wakes up to tell her that ain't no baseball bat. Upon hearing about the revelation, Yuna quickly recoils back like a first-time user of 50 cal and wonders what the heck she just tried to move. After adding up 3 and 3 together to equal 69, it finally came to mind that she accidentally found out about her best friend's matured tree. She then profusely apologizes for her accidental advance into the sussy dimension, but our boy doesn't hear anything as he's currently too embarrassed about all the events unfolding before him. Regardless, as Yuna panics about what she should do to compensate for her accidental sussy moment, our bro finally wakes up and leaves the soy boy realm. Our boy then decides he wants to attempt evolving, since if it's actually true that he contains the power of the undefeated king, then why not try it on his best friend first? Unfortunately for our boy, he isn't smooth with it, as bro actually gets up and asks Yuna where her special sussy zone is, so she starts yelling at him to stop being a sussy baka. However, Daewon apparently has that unspoken riz, so when he doesn't say anything, Yoonha reveals the fact that she's never had a boyfriend before, even though this girl was one of the most beautiful at her school. Anyway, since Yoonha doesn't know and our bro doesn't care about anything right now, the sussy nation within our boy causes him to just hold her as he tries his best to recall everything. As he holds Yoonha's face, Daewon tries his best to stare into her eyes like a king cobra, slowly following the steps the fortune lady told him to do, yet somehow Yoonha is just sitting there acting like nothing is happening. Then Daewon quickly increases the temperature of the room as he searches for her special hotspot zone so he could loot like a madman on Warzone, but he has no idea where to look. After a couple more moments, Ro just gives up as he has no idea if it will even work, nor does he even know where her hotspot is, but luckily for him, Ro didn't get charged for unwanted advances. However, just as our boy thought he got bamboozled by the fortune lady, Yoonha randomly opens up his rune plate legs, telling him that she still has to make sure he didn't get hurt by the kitty. With Yoonha being insistent on checking up on him, she ends up looking like the typical anime character who's getting ready to drink some sweet honey tea from our boy. Upon unwinding his hidden diamond sword, Yoonha takes a moment to stare and wonders if it's normal for boys to have such a behemoth of a banana tree plantation, since you know she's never even had a relationship. She then takes a few more moments to figure out the puzzle before her, but then she says out loud that it's weird the weapon isn't small, but ends up thinking it might be super swollen. Yoonha then warns him that she's about to dive deep into his water by making physical contact to make sure there's nothing wrong with our boy, and here I am busy thinking, how can two people have IQs lower than room temperature be in the same room? Anyway, she ends up grabbing his battering ram to see if the swelling would go away, but much to her surprise, the Earth Nation turned his behemoth into Mount Everest. Regardless, Yoonha is still absolutely clueless to what the heck is happening, so our boy decides to take advantage of the situation by telling her that some tips and tricks he learned from YouTube is that she must apparently apply clear liquid from her mouth. He then continues on by explaining that if she's able to do that, then his problem will easily go away, so Yoonha actually thinks about it for a second before going through with it. And there she goes, Captain, as Yoonha begins to sink his boat like a master sailor. But don't forget, guys, these two are apparently the top of their respective classes, and somehow none of them learned about this education. Anyways, long story short, the science experiment causes Daewon's volcano to erupt like Mount St. Helens, leaving him in absolute bliss. So fast forward the next day at school, our boy makes it to a meeting about one of his group projects. There it's revealed that he's unable to think about anything other than the night he had before, where he's unable to fathom that his volcano actually erupted twice in one day. Suddenly, our boy's weak mental breaks in front of his entire team, just like my usual ranked teammates, so Daewon starts blabbing about how he hasn't even experienced the real rice cake smashing yet. Thus, a red-head princess beside him tells him to shut up, as no one can understand what he's talking about, and this project is super important for their grades. After finally calming down, the redhead turns to our boy again and tells him that they need to talk after the meeting. And so the two meet up shortly after, where it's revealed that she's actually pretty nice as she checks in on our boy asking if anything is wrong, since he's always number one and super cool and collected. Unfortunately, just as he tried to explain to the redhead about his misfortune, due to an apparent curse, a black dog appears out of nowhere looking like it's pulling away from its owner. Upon getting closer, Daewon realizes it's no ordinary doggo since it's actually a pit bull, causing him to wish upon the gods, hoping he was in an alternate dimension instead, where the pit bull could be 50 Cent. However, the turntables turn as Daewon somehow transforms into a Chad and saves the red-head queen upon noticing that the terror wasn't aiming for him, rather it went for the princess. At the same time, he accidentally locks onto her eyes while simultaneously holding the back of her neck, causing some weird purple glow to illuminate. Mere moments later, the Crimson Girl freezes up as she feels some weird energy begin to take over her, causing her to already begin blushing like a tomato. But our hero's job is not over yet, so Daewon picks up some thick engineering textbooks and starts whacking the attacker away, since that's the only thing those expensive textbooks are used for when we're forced to buy them to complete assignments. Eventually, Bro was able to defend his honor after getting destroyed by a 10-pound kitty the other day, but don't be too worried, guys, the pitbull just passed out from too much having fun. And the only thing that got clapped was his textbook, but at least this time he has proof that a dog actually ate his homework. Anyways, after the ordeal, the redhead gets up herself and approaches our Chad, where she asks him if he can spare a moment to talk about something serious. She then brings him over to his house, where she ends up rewarding his efforts by giving him another textbook to replace his old one. After profusely thanking our boy, the girl begins to give off a little sussy glow, almost exactly like Yoonha the night before. But just as awkward silence was about to fill the air, she gets ganked by a random pain on her shoulder, causing our boy to ask if she's alright. However, since our bro is no longer scared of being near girls, he doesn't hesitate and instantly takes a closer inspection at her affected area, but once again a mysterious purple glow appears out of nowhere. After making contact for literally 1 second, purple lightning randomly strikes the girl, causing her to make a sussy sound out loud. She then falls to the ground like a helpless princess, where our boy is finally able to use his big brain to figure out that maybe his Chad powers are actually working. To make sure he isn't hallucinating, he attempts the exact same actions again while staring into her eyes, causing the Crimson Princess to again make a sussy sound out loud. Her instincts then take over as she swiftly pushes Daewon back, due to her being unable to control the energy that's currently overflowing through her. But then, just as her name is revealed as Hyojin, we find out that Hyojin didn't push him away, but she actually pushed him into the correct position for her to be able to attack like a true pro. And within mere seconds of Hyojin's attack, Daewon can only watch as her entire diamond set of armor is set flying into the sky. She then quickly tells our boy that they need to rice cake smash right now just once, and they need to go fast and furious. This time, Daewon is dead set on completing all 4 bases in one go, as he can't handle being stuck on 3rd base if he really has the power of the undefeated king. And so our boy decides it's time to finally take over the war by mounting a counter-offensive, since Hyojin has done everything so far and now he wants to return the favor. Thus, his own Minecraft diamond set of armor goes flying across the room, allowing Hyojin to marvel at a behemoth she never expected to find. Anyways, bro gets to finally experience the real deal, so the two end up cosplaying a jackhammer in construction as they end up working out for the entire hour. Luckily for our boy though, one entire siege wasn't enough for the Crimson Princess, so she orders a second attack, then a third to fulfill the first invasion of Daewon's forces into the land of Hyojin. Daewon then passes out, where we then fast forward to the next day at school as our boy is busy wondering if everything actually happened. However, as he wanders through the school hallway, Yuna purposely bumps into him, where her eyes instantly lock on the target she's been wanting the entire week. As Daewon tries to greet her good morning, all Yuna could do is stare at the outline of the banana tree plantation, causing her to snap back to reality, wondering why she keeps on thinking about sussy things. She then turns around and runs away from Daewon, making an excuse that she needs to complete an assignment real quick, totally ignoring her best friend's hello. With Yuna acting weird, our boy finally remembers the other day where he basically trolled his best friend to drink his mega sussy sweet tea.